From those two cruises, from Royal Caribbean and Carnival, I was receiving offers left and right. And today I've been able to book 58 cruises with Royal Caribbean and Carnival. Hey y'all, if you're new to the channel, welcome. If you're not, welcome back. I'm Lanelle. I'm a retired solo traveler in search of paradise on a budget. I grew up in poverty and decided not to stay there. If you think you don't have enough money to live in paradise, this channel is for you. Subscribe for a better way of life and a pathway from poverty to paradise. Hey y'all, today I'm on Grandeur of the Seas. I'm in an ocean view cabin and it is beginning of August, and I thought I'd share my expenses with you, how much it costs for me to live full-time on the cruise ships in July. So that's what we're going to talk about today. For those of you who don't yet know me, my name is Lanelle. I am a full-time solo cruiser and I'm cruising full-time on a budget because of some casino deals that I was able to get. So a little introduction before I get started on the expenses for July, and that is that back in January I sold my house, got rid of 99% of my possessions. In March I quit my job and I received a whole bunch of casino deals from Royal Caribbean and Carnival Cruise Lines, and now I am cruising full time. I even got rid of my SUV. I donated it, and the only things that I've kept, they all fit in what I travel with, which is 2 suitcases and a backpack. So everything else is gone. And I started cruising in April. I took some cruising in April, May, June, but I went full-time cruising, as in I don't plan to return back to Georgia probably until July of next year, when I'm going to go back and do my regular physical checkups. But I am booked all the way out until November of 2025, and all of the cruises that I'm booked on are casino deals from those 2 cruises that I took. So let me back up a little bit. I took 2 cruises where I paid, I would say, full price, even though they were a little discounted, but I took 2 cruises in 2023. So one was in April 2023 with my family, my kids and my grandkids, and I actually don't remember how long that cruise was. Was it 5, 6, 7 days? Anyway, when I go to a casino, whether it's on land or on a cruise, I spend $100 per day. On that cruise, I started to spend $100 per day, but then I think around the 2nd or 3rd day, I started winning, getting some big wins. For me, big wins. I spend $100 a day. So for those who spend like $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 in the casino, they're like $100. That's nothing. But for me, it was a lot. So anyway, on that cruise, the Carnival cruise, I ended up leaving there $1,200 ahead. Then fast forward in September of 2023, I took a cruise on Royal Caribbean, an 8-day cruise. It was a solo cruise. I went to Bermuda by myself. Again, I had a budget of $100 per day. Ooh, sorry y'all, my throat is kind of sore. On that cruise, I didn't win. I didn't take back anything. So I was net between the 2 cruises. I was up about $400. So up $1,200 on one, down $800 on the other. So a net of about $400. And from those 2 cruises, I actually was getting offers from both Carnival and Royal Caribbean. I'll be upfront, I haven't figured out Carnival's algorithm yet. Since I've been cruising mostly on Royal, I have figured out the basics on Royal Caribbean's casino deal. So when you go to the casino on Royal Caribbean, they have flyers, pamphlets, whatever you want to call them. They explain how many points you need to start getting offers, and I have more on that on other videos on this channel, so you can go check those out. But basically for Royal Caribbean, you start receiving offers at 400 points, and I'm not really familiar with card games and things like that, even though I did learn blackjack recently. But for the most part, I stick to slots, and the way slots work is for every $5 that you spend, you get 1 point. So if I put $10 in a machine and I play that $10, I'm going to get 2 points. If I win money, let's say I win $50 on that $10, and I play that $50, I'm going to get 10 more points, so a total of 12 points. And then let's say I'm up, I'm down, I'm up, I'm down, but playing that $50, I win another $100. I don't get any points from winning the $100, but if I play that $100, then I'm going to get another 20 points for that $100, and the points just keep adding up. The more you play, the more points you get. It doesn't matter if you win or lose. That does not affect how many points you get. It's how much you play. So hopefully I find a good game and I will win some of the money back that I put in, so I can keep using that same money to get more points. So to start getting any kind of offers, you have to get at least 400 points, and then they also have these different tiers where and then they have these different tiers that you can get different rewards or perks based on the number of points that you have. So for instance, when I played in that first cruise back in October on Mariner, I ended up getting 2,500 points, which put me at Prime, and Prime you automatically get a free interior cabin every year that you're Prime. You also get other perks like offers for other free cruises, offers for discounted cruises. You get free drinks when you're playing in the casino and different things like that. They have a whole list of the different perks that you'll get from playing. From those two cruises, from Royal Caribbean and Carnival, I was receiving offers left and right. And today I've been able to book 58 cruises with Royal Caribbean and Carnival. And also there are other cruise lines that will match the offers. And I learned this from being in different Facebook groups. So I was able to send a couple of my free cruise offers to Princess Cruise Line and Holland America Cruise Line. And in turn, they both offered me free cruises. So I have a free cruise with Princess and Holland America for 7 days where I'm only paying the port fees and taxes. So today, between when I started April of 2024 and all the way through November of 2025, I have 60 cruises booked on 4 different cruise lines. So now that you know my backstory, let me get back to what the topic is for today, which is how much it cost me to cruise over the last 30 days. So I'm going to pull out my spreadsheet here and apologize for when I'm looking down, but I want to make sure I give you these numbers correct. So to start, I took 4 cruises in the last 30 days, and those were 2 4-day and 2 7-day cruises. So a total of 22 days I was on cruise ships. The other 8 days I was in different hotels, and mostly I use IHG because I learned through some other YouTube videos how to use IHG reward points. And also I have 3 free days at the Hard Rock Hotel over in Tampa. So for the cruises, you can see here that for my first cruise on Independence of the Seas over in Miami, the cruise here was free. The taxes, fees, and port expenses were $114.82. This is my final guest statement, and the gratuities that I paid were $18 a day for a total of $72 for that cruise. The second cruise was Grandeur of the Seas, which is the ship I'm on now. I was on it also back on July 11th. That was for a 4-day cruise. Again, the cruise itself was free. I paid $88.74 for the taxes, fees, and port expenses. My final guest statement, again, was $72 for the gratuities. And then my third cruise was Enchantment of the Seas, which was a back-to-back. I got on it on July 20th. We had turnaround day on July 27th, and then I stayed on it for another 7 days, July 27th through August 3rd. This cruise was free. The taxes, fees, and port expenses were $141.85, and it was the same amount on the second leg. The July 27th cruise was also $141.85 for the port fees and taxes. For the July 20th cruise, my final guest statement, you can see I had $126 in gratuities, and I also took an excursion in Belize, which was $59. Now that is an optional thing that I did, so I'm not including that in my cruise expenses, but I am going to tally my total expenses for the month, and you'll see that in those amounts. Moving over to my July 27th cruise, I again had $126, so $18 a day for gratuities, and I had a few other expenses on that cruise, which I'm going to put in my miscellaneous bucket. And that was, I decided to purchase some different fragrances over in Solera on the ship, which were $59. I bought some Ben & Jerry's ice cream from Scoops, which was $3 plus gratuities. I also bought some candy, which was $5.99, and then my laundry started racking up. I do laundry by hand sometimes, but I was not in the mood to do laundry. And so I went ahead and I just went ahead and paid the $24.99 for the laundry. So I have two separate categories for my expenses. I have all my living expenses, so the cruise, the hotel, anything that I need to get to and from the cruises and hotels, the Ubers, the shuttles, the buses, and then any food that I'm paying for out of pocket when I'm not on the cruise ships. So separate from that, and I'll show you on the next slide, but separate from that, anything that is not included on the cruises and hotels, so my cell phone, my health insurance, any souvenirs I decide to buy, things like that will be separate. My budget for the cruises and my living expenses is $2,000 a month, and you can see here I went a little bit over, not to worry. There'll be some months I go over and some months I meet my target of $2,000 a month, but this first month, which I think I did pretty good, $2,031, and these are all the expenses that I incurred for that category. The next slide here shows all my total expenses, everything for the cruises, the hotels, when I took the excursion to Belize, my health insurance, you can see is $53, my dental, I pay $9, I have my cell phone, my Netflix, sometimes I buy souvenirs and things like that. So getting down to the nitty gritty, the total numbers, again, I spent $2,031 for the cruises. That breaks down to $920 for the cruises, which when I say the cruises, I'm talking about any cruise fare, port fees, taxes, the gratuities, and any tips that I give to the porters when I'm dropping off my luggage. The next biggest expense that I had was hotels. Again, I did have 3 free nights at the Hard Rock, and all of my other hotel stays were with IHG, mostly with Holiday Inn. I think all of them this month were with Holiday Inn. But if I do anything like tip the room, I want to say room store, the housekeeping, different things like that, all of that is included in the hotel category. So I spent $791. Transportation, so my bus ride from Miami over to Tampa, the Ubers that I took, any tips that I gave, those were all $85. And then food out of pocket was $234. This is going to be mainly because when I was over in Tampa, I wasn't close to any grocery stores. I had to eat at restaurants, and there was a gas station that I had to buy some food at. But I have separate videos on all the different hotels I stayed at, how much I paid for them, whether I use points or if I just paid straight out of pocket, and all of those good things. So check those videos out if you are so inclined. My other expenses, so my fixed expenses, including my health care, my cell phone, all of that was $145. And then my miscellaneous expenses, where when I took my excursions or I bought souvenirs, different things like that, was $293. For that category, my other category, I'm giving myself a budget of $500 a month. So I did do good in that category. But for my cruise budget, I did go over $31. Again, my travel goal, which is my cruise fare, tax, port fees, gratuities, and when I'm not on the cruise, for the hotels and food that I buy. All of those, my goal is to stay within $2,000 a month. My overall goal is $2,500 a month. And as you can see, I met my overall goal, but my cruise, my travel goal, I didn't meet that. So hopefully this month in August, I will do better and I will make another video. And of course, I'll share the outcome of that next month. Until then, I hope to see y'all on the next cruise.